Alright, survivors, welcome back to another episode of Kingdom Death Monster. We have loaded into the mod here exactly where we left off. I hadn't touched anything, but I do want to touch upon a few subjects before we move on. So, first of all, I have not yet uploaded the first episode, and so if you are commenting on that and giving me advice or rule corrections, I will not be able to implement that in this episode, but hopefully in the next one. But I just can't wait. I want to play more, so just bear that in mind. I do have a few rule corrections. First of all, knockback. I had the assumption, and that's bad, you should never make assumptions, but I had the assumption that knockback would always cause knockdown. When you get the one, you get the other. And that is incorrect. So a lot of things do both, but not all knockback does not necessarily always resolve in knockdown. And obviously it's a huge deal whether or not you are denied your action for the turn. So a big deal and something I think I did wrong in the previous episode. And it's fine. We'll just keep rolling as is and continue to adjust for my previous failings going forward. The next thing then is the lifetime reroll. I just wanted to get that in line with everyone else. It says here that you check the box when you have used the reroll, and I did it the opposite. So I have flipped all the reroll boxes so that now Gabriel Logan is the only one who has flipped his reroll because he used it. Everyone's else's boxes are empty. Yeah, that would be that. And I wanted to get Never Dead Ned back into the game here because I found a bug in the mod here, which is something I wanted to point out. Also, just to clarify a rule. I know it doesn't matter because he's dead, but he did manage to get -1 luck to his stats before he died. And so my luck is the modifier that determines how often you can crit roll. And you recall that I was using the 15 twos because it gives 1 luck. And so he was critting at 9s. Now he's critting at 10s with the 15 tooth. The question then is, does Founding Stone and Bone Dagger, the new weapons here added, do they crit at 10 still, or do they effectively crit at 11, making it impossible to crit? And the UI here seems to think that it is 10, 10, 10. But drum roll, I found it in the book. There's a luck stat here. And a luck modifier can be negative and making it impossible to roll a critical wound. Meaning it should show 11 here, basically making him incapable of critting with a Bone Dagger and Founding Stone. So just keep that in mind if you're using this mod at home. You gotta know for yourself that you cannot crit with these two weapons when you have -1 luck, example, and then go and so on and so forth, right? So just want to get that out of the way. We will retire Never Dead Ned again. And we needed a new survivor to join the fray, because Mr. Poopy Butthole is skipping the hunt currently. So we have a female here, and I thought we would continue to add people from popular culture. So this is Sansa Stark, which may be kind of confusing for Pepper Potts. Is she a relative or what? And let's not dwell on it. They don't remember their past anyway. So Sansa Stark is here. She gets a survival for being named, and she's a young lady. We will give her a different token here. She's a lady, so let's give her this figurine. Who do we have over here? We had Pepper Potts is this figurine. All right, so you can take other figurines from over here. This is the Pepper Potts one. This looks like a Sansa Stark kind of thing. Sure. She will be added here, boop, and then you just delete the old one. That ties the token to this character. You do it like that. Good. So for this episode, we did finish up the settlement and development and all that stuff. You can follow this track over here. We were in development, we finished that out. Then it says prepare departing survivors. And so that's what we are going to do now. And we will go in and select our quarry for the year. And I have decided that we are going to go and do a proper white lion. Now we already know it, but of course the first one we met was a simplified one. So I want to show you guys a real white lion. There we go. I guess we haven't killed the level 1 white lion yet. I don't really know how you're supposed to mark these quarries, but I'll just keep doing my own thing here. We have the core, we have encourage here, and I have added departing bonuses survival +1 up here, which is just something that you can note. I still haven't named my settlement, I suppose, but I'll leave it hanging. And now we will go and start a hunt. Yep. So you go in here, find the white lion, level 1, and you'd note that the amount of monsters in here are significantly less than the ones you see in the showdown list, and that's because not all monsters need to be hunted in order to be have a showdown. Right? So move that thing out of the way, clean up hunt, white lion, begin hunt. There we go. Automatically sets up everything, shuffles decks, and adds card to the track. It is so nice. Everything just works and there are no complaints. Before we start on that track, I need to do the departing survivors thing, right? Prepare departing survivors, record and archive resources in settlement phase. Yeah. So let's see. We have Garville Logan with the headband. We only made one weapon, yeah, the dagger. And Sansa Stark is our only unharmed character. Oh, we do have Gollum with extra speed. And the dagger gives +1 speed as well, or it has speed 3, so 3 dice are rolled every time you roll the bone dagger. And so you would think maybe it would be good to give the bone dagger to Gollum and make him roll 4 dice every time, but no. In fact, as far as I understand, in the community, there is kind of not a hate, but like an aversion to having too much speed, too many rolls in one attack. Because the problem is, if you let's say you hit with all 4 rolls, that's great. Then you draw 4 hit location cards. And if one of those is a trap, you discard the whole thing. And then you get punished. So the more speed you have, the higher chance that you draw the trap and cancel your whole hit. So too much speed can be a problem. While I do like the bone dagger, on a perfect hit, it gains you survival back, which is amazing. So, yes, we want this, but you don't want it to be comboed with the extra speed, I think. So we are not going to do that. We'll give the permanent evasion, permanent accuracy. No, we'll give it to Sansa Stark, who's the clean character, and then Gollum is honestly a really good character here, but he will just fight with fist and tooth. That's fine. And then Skullhelm. I might want that on Gollum, so he gets the better helm. Because his character is really strong right now. He's at the strongest base we have. He also needs 1 survival for being named. Good. Then we are about to depart. We click the timeline. We'll see here we get +1 survival when we are departing. So everyone up to the limit of 2, right? So Garville Logan up to 2. She's at 2, 2, 2. Everyone is at 2 survival. Good stuff. And they can now be used for dodge and encourage. I have added the encourage marker down here. That we get that just from innovating language when we get back to the city for the first time. Then we had the hovel here. Oh, that gives us extra survival limit. All right, that's right. So we have 3. Oh, and I think... Yeah, Gollum would be a 2, Sansa would be a 2, but I think Pepper Potts was a 2 or 1, and then she was a 2 already. No, hold on. No, she would be at 2, I think, at max, right? Because she started with 1. She didn't use 1 in that fight. Now she's departing, gaining an extra. I don't think she's gotten any survival from any other sources. I hope I'm right about that. All right, good stuff. So now we are departing. Remove the like that, yeah, and then we are on the hunt. The hunt track looks like this. We are the survivors starting here. We move to the right, exchanging who is the hunt master. Let's just start with Sansa, sure. And then we will move over here, flip that card. It can do all kinds of stuff. It may move the lion. Once we hit the lion square, we will start the showdown. And then it can move back and forth depending on events. Right now, we just reveal the first one and see what happens. So this one says Lion's Sculpture. A crudely arranged effigy stands before the survivors, decorated with small metal trinkets, human fingers, and stuffed with dried tall grass. Their quarry's sculpture confounds the survivors. The survivors gaze at the arrangement, attempting to glean the substance of the white lion's bizarre inhuman intelligence. Each survivor gains +1 understanding and +1 insanity. Wow. That is the best hunt event I have ever seen. So that's great. What was that? 1 understanding and 1 insanity. Ah, nice. Understanding is fluff kind of stuff, but it can be really good. I believe that 3 makes Pepper Potts considered insane, which triggers various things. Not right now, but if she... sometimes there will be in asking... cards asking for whether or not your character is considered quote-unquote insane, which sounds like a bad thing, but it is a good thing. And then you can get various bonuses, so that's really nice. 1 understanding and 1 insanity, and then it says each survivor, but I'm assuming that this is each survivor currently on the hunt. And then it says roll random hunt event. And so what happens then is that we roll these 2 dice here. Yep. All right, and I have to say one of them is 10s, but I always go with the left one is 10s, and then you have 1s over here. So this is 48 because it's D100, right? And it's I was looking for no. Okay, there's a demonstration of that somewhere, but it suffices to say this is how we roll D100, one between 1 and 100, right? And then we go up here, because again, this mod is awesome, and we just write 48, 100 events, there we go. And then the rulebook covers a whole lot of different events, and we find number 48. It is a death wager. What is this? The survivors are awoken by a traveler hidden in a deep cloak. The traveler pulls back its hood and reveals a deformed face with 2 chins curving away from each other. That would be the guy here. I was trying to picture that in my mind, and that is not what I pictured. All right. Jesus. Each with its own grinning mouth, yeah. In a dreamlike state, the survivors all understand that this entity is known as the Gambler, and if they speak, they will die. Wow. Until this event is completed, only the event revealer may speak. If any other player speaks, their survivor turns cold, dead. The survivors must play the gambler's game or be trapped with him forever. Each survivor rolls 1d10. And then, yeah, okay. Okay, so let's go with Hunt Controller first. That would be Sansa Stark. Oh, wow, that was really nice. 10. You win. Game +1 permanent luck. Wow. Good start. It looked like it did a weird spin, but my rule is that I always click the button 3 times, right, for the roll, and then that'll be good enough. We'll go left to right. So this is Garvey Logan with 2. The gambler, what is 1? The gambler reaches out and scoops up your dice. They vanish into dead. Okay, but 2 to 9 is you do not lose, nor do you win. Play again if you wish. If you do, roll again on this table. No thanks. Okay, so then it's Pepper Potts. So only 1 on 10 matters. Uh-oh. And then for the final character column. Okay. But we got a positive outcome from that. Another permanent luck. That is really amazing. I mean, not another, but the first permanent luck, meaning that she now can crit on 8s with Fist and Tooth. That is amazing. Amazing. Wow, we got rewarded for a hunter event? I've never seen that before. Okay. Aromatic breeze then. White Lion Hunt event. The hungry lion sniffs its survivor's musk on the wind. Move the lion one space toward the survivors on the hunt board. If it moves into the survivor space, the white lion ambushes the survivors. If the white lion ambushes the survivors, they must skip the first turn, but it doesn't. It just moves here. And then it says roll random hunt event. So that's 24. Let me just write that up here. Oh. Events. Boom. Over here. 24. Food from the mouths of others. The survivors pass a stone fence that appears to be holding something in its stone face that appears to be holding something in its mouth. And the event revealer, of course, is the next one in line. So that is Gabriel Logan. The event revealer investigates. Gain +1 courage. Oh, all right, sure. Courage. And roll 1d10. I tend to not read the roll tables before rolling. It's nice to be surprised. Oh, almost a 10. Okay, 4. There's nothing. It was just a trick of the lantern light. All right, let's not dwell on it. Move on. And we are rewarded for our patience. The lion moved closer. When you move onto the lion thing, you don't, or onto the monster, you don't reveal the events beneath. So we are now in the showdown. All right, and no special modifiers were added for the showdown, so we will clean up the hunt. That cleans that track, and then we go over here, say clean up the showdown, and then begin showdown with White Lion level 1. Begin showdown. Good stuff. Now a few things happen. First of all, the showdown shows up here. And if we hadn't really met the White Lion, first time we fought him, it was in total darkness. We had the lanterns and everything was panicky. We didn't really have time to study him. Here we get the first real description of the White Lion. There was once a beast that wanted to feel how soft its fur was. Since it could not reach its own back, it killed many other creatures and spent time rubbing its paws over them. They say that when the monster finally killed a human, it fell in love with their soft hair and its paws grew into a pair of fine human hands. So if you hadn't caught that yet, it's not a normal lion. It has human hands, which, I suppose it is kind of viewable here. It definitely doesn't look like a paw, and it's 5 digits. Okay, yeah, but it's kind of hard to see. Here it's easier to see that it's like, and this is an upper torso of a human, by the way, yeah. And the floor everywhere seems to be just these cold stone faces. And here's a face, not made of stone. Wow. The art in this game, so grotesque and at the same time not invasive. It's kind of funny and grimdark at the same time. I love it. So this lion plays a lot like the tutorial lion with some exceptions. The tutorial lion was dumbed down a bit. This one has a bigger AI deck, I believe. If I remove this, 10 lions. There's 2 more cards here. And we can deploy around it like this. Then it comes in with tall grass terrain, 2 tall grass tiles, and 2 random terrain cards set up normally. And so they are already drawn for us. They are over here. We have the 2 tall grass, which we are placing. Then there are the silk nest, which I haven't seen before. This is an obstacle, impassable, set up in the center of the showdown board. Oh, but how would that work? Place a spiderling in the free space nearest to the survivor, then roll 1d10. This is an action. The little lightning bolt there means that it is an action interacting with this thing. I'm wondering if this is from an expansion, very clearly. I'm going to pause the recording here and go figure out whether or not this one is relevant. All right, I am returning. I have decided that I don't really know about this one. We will draw another terrain and replace the silk nest. If someone can answer this question for me, then I'll be all interested in hearing their opinion. Is that set up in the center of the showdown board at the bottom there? And that's where the lion starts. So, and it's an obstacle that is impassable, which means that the lion can't sit on it, I think. So I don't think it can be deployed there. And then where would you put it? I don't know. And people are criticizing the expansion online. So I'm just gonna delete it right now. It'll be reset and we'll do another showdown. So we'll do 2 salt sculptures instead. It says, if you are in darkness, you crack the surface and harvest a handful of salt, carefully storing it. Light penetrates the sculpture from the inside, and in one brilliant moment it's gone. Gain 1 salt, strange resource, and archive the terrain tile. So we can harvest some salt from this one here, and then we had a survivor corpse here. If a survivor moves through the space occupied by this terrain, they suffer brain damage equal to the monster level. Oh, really? Okay. Set up at least 6 spaces from all other terrain. Yeah, and these things here, set up at least 4 spaces from all of the tall grass. We will need the salt from in here. 2 of these. Set up at least 4 spaces away from all other terrain. And then terrain is kind of interesting. We are allowed to place them wherever we want, as long as we follow the placement rules. Because we are hunting, and so when we come upon our prey, we can sort of come in from the angle where it's most beneficial from us. I really like that system, personally. And so what I like to do, I guess, is, let's see, the lion will go first. And so something like this, the lion would run here, and then we will place ourselves in the tall grass behind it to stab at it. When you are sitting in the tall grass, you gain evasion +2. So it's really, really beneficial to sit in the tall grass and fight the lion from there. And then it has to be 4 spaces away. And this is also something I've been debating. When you say 4 spaces away, do you mean from this tall grass 1, 2, 3, 4? So now the tall grass can sit here. Or do we have to have 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces between them? I think this is the correct solution, but I'm honestly not 100% sure. Either way, salt sculptures then says 4 spaces away from all other terrain. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 there, I think. This is just a thing that we can harvest, so there's no harm. And then here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and the survivor corpse on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. And this one can punish us a bit if we move through it, but other than that, it will usually give us some good things. Yeah, gain insanity and a basic resource. We definitely want to pick this up. We might even put it here instead. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's fine. We just don't want to run over it, then we take brain damage. All right. And it takes actions to interact with those, so that's kind of interesting. We can also hide in the tall grass as an action, and you disappear into it. If you have the priority target token, remove it. If you are not a threat, then you are not a threat until you attack or move out of a space occupied by tall grass. Not something I use very much. We get the evasion for free just by standing in the terrain, so that is amazing. All right. We are ready, I believe, to initiate this showdown here. The deployment, we can put our survivors anywhere in the blue zones, but I like to set it up like we did. Do we wanna... No. And I don't know that it always needs to be a specific... I don't think that we have to have a specific player be the monster controller. Like, we could have put Sansa Stark over here in this spot if I wanted to just move them around. So I believe we can put this wherever we need or wherever we want. And I would like, I think, maybe, Garvin Logan has already used this once a lifetime reroll, so maybe not him. Mr. Potts, or Mrs. Potts, excuse me, or Miss, yeah. Blind, narcissistic, sure. You take the first hit. So then I think it already shuffled the decks, but I will do it again. And then we are drawing a card. Yep. Claw. All right. Basic attack. Pick a target closest threat facing in range. Yeah, so we can choose whoever, which means that Pepper Potts will choose herself, gaining another insanity. Lion comes down, attacks green. Good. No other modifiers or anything to take into account right now. It is hitting on 2 up. There are no modifiers to that on her account. We have very, very low equipment for a second hunt, I think. But I hope we will be fine. So there's 2 hits here. You might lose a survivor. I kind of expect it at this point. We hit in the legs and the arms. Yeah. She could dodge, but no. Oh, I never explained what encourage does, did I? Once per round, if standing, spend 1 survival to call out a non-deaf survivor. Oh, that doesn't work on Garville Logan. They stand if they are knocked down, so you can give them their turn even if they were knocked down, which can be very beneficial in many ways. Mostly to gain the action, right, for 1 survival. But it has to be someone else helping you up, so you can't use it if you are knocked down. You have to have a friend help you up. Okay. We survived the first attack. Good stuff. Then, let's see. Oh, they have removed my little tokens here, so we will grab those. And say, I think we go first with... Let's just go Sansa Stork. Here. She now rolls, because she has the bone dagger, she will roll 3 dice. Hitting on 6s because she's flanking. And there's a perfect hit, which means she gains 1 survival. Fantastic. That's part of the reason why I really love the bone daggers. And this is 3 hits. All right, good start. And this claw is here. So we could be unlucky and draw the trap, obviously, but hopefully we don't. We didn't. Nice. So there are 3 wound opportunities. This one has a backside. This one's no failure thing. Yeah, so we'll take the beast's femur first. See what that brings us. 8 means... Oh, she's supposed to be attacking with fist and tooth? No, I think the bone dagger is still the right pick here, even though... Critting on 8s would be great, but I can't give... I'm not allowed to switch equipment between survivors during a hunt, but that would be really cool. No, we're trying for 9s, and it's fine. We just get a wound, which means we take an AI card there. This one has been resolved. Then we have a failure here, which means that I would take a basic attack action, and then the failure here will mean that the lion charges forward, and we don't want that. So let's go with the fleshy gut first. Failure means that the lion will attack back with a basic action, and then also makes him turn around, which is kind of sad. Let me think. So then it does the basic action, which is speed 2, accuracy 2. We can spend survival for dodging, which I gotta remember. She can regain survival pretty easily, so we should definitely think about doing that. She has maximum survival as well right now with the 3. 2 and 3 are both hits, unless she has evasion or anything. She does not. So we will see it's 1 damage per. We have a waist armor, so I say we dodge the body hit with the 1 survival here, using the dodge action. Can we flip it or something? Dodge exhausted, indeed. Good. Then it's, that was that thing. So she still can do the beast's scapular deltoid, or correction, she has to try. So hope please don't fail. An 8 means a wound, not a failure, and so we move on. Oh, I forgot. Hold on. These are, I rolled what, 2 and 3, I believe? For the hits on her, and she's in the grass, so she does not take the hits at all. I'm pretty sure it was a 3. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. It was 2 and 3 that I rolled. You guys can go back and look. I can't. My memory says it was 2 and 3, and I was very sad. But now I remember that we were in the grass, so everything is fine. Yep, and she would still be attacked, so it still turned around and everything. Yep, good. To flank, then, we now need to be on this side where we already are, so we can attack and then move, and that's also kind of nice. So I say we attack with the one who can actually tank a hit, or the one... Yeah, let's go with Gollum. Gollum is cool. He has an extra die, an extra speed, and an extra strength. And he's using Fist and Tooth. So hitting from the back, it's hitting on 7s. Here's a 9, so that's 1 hit. Beast Paw. And yeah, we just roll it. Critting on 9. Oh, Gollum is here. Hold on, Fist and Tooth hitting on 8s. Yeah. Wounding on 7, critting on 9. We wound, so it's not a failure. Good. We've already, done 3? Yeah, 3. Nice. In the first round, and we're not even done with the round. I'm supposed to, let's see, we moved Sansa, then we are now moving Gollum. He attacked, and so now he can move. We'll move him over here. Oh, this is a lady character. Hold on, we need to get a Gollum character in here. That'll be you. Not you. You. Over here. Boop. The first cannibal. And delete that one. So we have a more Gollum-like character here. Good, and he's ready to now pick up the salt here if we need it next turn, or move in and attack again. Then I think we move with Green, who is already in the blind spot. No special things for you, Dev. You have lowered accuracy, so if we look at your table here, you hit on 9s and 8s. Yeah. I'm just going to go for Fist and 2 still. I really care about those critical hits. And if she doesn't hit, then she doesn't provoke counter strikes either, so it's fine. Pepper, yeah. And then she moves away. I think she moves over here. Now it's a good question. Do we go into the grass to attack from the front? Or do we go behind? I think I go in front to get the extra evasion for next round. We are about to end here. We have moved you. And we are moving now Garviel Logan. Yep. Oh, two hits here, and we are using Fist and Tooth, obviously. So yeah, there's no special things for him. Always Fist and Tooth, unless otherwise noted. 2 hits. Can we get another wound in here? Maybe a critical wound would be nice. There's a failure on this one, so we're doing the straining neck first. Is that a... If I unlock here, it says a 7. Yeah. Okay, so 7 is not a crit, but it is a wound. And then we have the Beast's Temple over here. A 3 is a failure, so he performs a basic attack action back. That is the 2 dice. Hitting on 4s. Because of the evasion from the grass. Double 9. Okay, so that is definitely a hit. Both are 1 damage, so it's chest and feet. Why have you been hurt? Huh? Have you been hurt already? Forget how she was hurt. Okay. Sure. No, wait, how? Oh no, she was the first one attacked. Right. Anyway. Do chest and legs. And so I'm not going to spend survival to dodge any of that, because we might want to save that for a more crucial round. Yeah. Good. That means we click next turn. Oh, and that flips the dodge marker back here automatically. Amazing. Move these things over there. Grab this thing and move it there for now. Then it is the lion's turn. Lick wounds. If the monster has no wounds in the wound stack, discard lick wounds and destroy an AI, but it does. Otherwise, it says full move the Wyand directly away from all survivors. Turn to face the closest survivor and heal 1. Move the top card from the wound stack at the bottom of the AI deck without looking at it. Return lick wounds to the top. of the monster's AI deck. No way. So it runs down here and then turns around to face us. And then it heals 1. And then puts that card back on top. So it's going to keep doing that. Now there are 2 ways that we can handle that situation. We now know what the lion is going to do for the next few turns. It's going to heal 3 more. But I could spend a turn collecting all the resources, so I don't have to do it mid-fight next going forward. And I think, being the greedy man that I am, that I would do so. Or we can try to surround it right now. Oh, sorry. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, that was my alarm going off. I hope it wasn't too loud. Let's see. Oh, I completely... No, I forgot what we were going to do, but... let's see. The lion will lick its wounds again. I think we can take a look at that card. It will full move the wild lion directly away from all survivors. Turn to face the closest. It makes it impossible to flank it anyway. I think we would want to let it do it 1 time. And then grab the resources, like I said. And then we'll come back. And the thing is that the guy who goes with the salt up here will not be able to reach the lion next turn. So then I'm attacking with only 3 of my dudes. But that might be fine. And there's another reason why we're doing that. Every time we wound the lion, there's a chance to get a critical wound and gain stuff. And of course, the longer the lion stays alive, then the higher chance that it wounds us. But if we let it heal more, we can wound it again more and therefore have more chances of rolling the critical hit. So there's a reason to the madness here. And I think I would really like to lock down these resources. Now, I don't know what salt is for, but how about we go and find out. So you go up here, then you archive the terrain tile, yeah. I penetrate the sculpture from inside. In 1 brilliant moment, it is gone. Okay, so it just disappears. Boop. And then we get a strange resource. Salt. You may add this to any cooking recipe to gain 1 permanent strength in addition to the recipe's listed benefits. Oh, really? What? Amazing. We're definitely getting those 2. 1 for you. Blue will also grab 1. Delete that. Place, and then he moves here to make it run into the wall. There. Or I think, I mean, if we are supposed to be fair, I think I have to do something like this, right? And then, ooh, there was blue getting that, and then pepper pots. In fact, I'll let Sansa's Dark pick up the Survivor Corpse, because the Survivor Corpse will give us just insanity, and that's armor for the brain, and that we want that on Sansa. We want it on Gollum, to be honest, but it's fine on Sansa. 1d10. 3 is low. 2 insanity and 1 random basic resource. Oh, let me reset the deck first, just in case. Yeah, 21. And that is for Sansa's Dark. Another one of these Joker things. Nice. And 2 insanity up. So she's also considered insane. Yeah, 2 insanity. Good, and that deletes that thing. And then pots will move here. It was here, move there. And so with this setup, I think it's reasonable to say that the lion would not run to any of the sides, but into the wall. I hope I'm right. Lick wounds was on top, so the monster will draw this again. Full move the white lion directly away from all survivors. Turn the face of the close survivor. Heal 1. Heal 1 like that. At the bottom of the AI deck, without looking at it. So this would be the right order. I think we got a brief look at one of them, so that was my mistake. They go at the bottom, and lick wounds go back to the top. And now the thing also is, if we let it heal up, of course we're not going to let it heal anymore, but if we were to let it to heal to full, then the lick wounds would be discarded and then go back into the cycle, and we would never get rid of it. Now that we know it's on top, we gotta wound it while it's on top to get it into the wound stack. So now we are going to attempt exactly that. We are going to go balls to the wall. I think we will go with Changer Stark first, attempting to wound from the side, hoping to make him turn his facing. There is a hit. And with Bone Dagger, she's using Bone Dagger whenever she can, of course. So she hits on 7s. Yeah, didn't flank, wounds on 7s. Crits on 9. Nothing. And there's nothing for failure, so nothing happens. Okay, then Gollum will run around here and attempt something similar from the other side. 2 hits, I think. Fist and Tooth, yeah, 8s. Yeah. Let's get that wound. Beast Elbow and Beast Maw, failure and failure. Both of them have punishing things. This thing running forward isn't actually going to hurt us that much, where failure here, attacker suffers 1 brain damage and is knocked down. Okay, so this would interrupt our attack, and so would this. This will guaranteed interrupt our attack, where this one over here will maybe attack. Only if we fail, and then only if we roll 4+, and then we take a brain damage, which... oh, he only has 1 brain, 1 insanity. Yeah. Oh, I didn't do next here, so... Okay. I'm not sure what to do. This one, the critical wound will give us +3 insanity. May stand if they are knocked down. Non-death survivors gain +3 insanity. All of them. Oh, nice. And then over here, we would give it a persistent injury, no jaw, which is really good, and roll 1d10 with white line, jaw flies off its face. The attacker gains 1 courage and survival. That's also really nice. I think we do the beast small first. Oh no, wait. Here we have a good thing. If we make it run forward, it would go to the tall grass, and then we can run in behind it. It would run up here, and then we can stand in the tall grass behind it and punch it with Garfield Logan. So this would actually be a good thing. I'm going to go with that one first then. Oh, but we critted. Even better. So the monster howls in pain as the blow breaks its elbow in a sickening crunch. Non-death survivors get +3 insanity and may stand if they are knocked down. So no one is knocked down. We have 1 guy who's deaf, so he doesn't get anything. Everyone else gets 3 insanity. Now I'm starting to wonder. I've never been at 7 before, for sure, so I don't know if there's like a limit. But damn, that is really strong. Now we've got 3 insane characters. And that's a wound. So now we are rid of the lick wounds. And then it's the beast's maw. A 1. So it's a failure, meaning the monster roars triumphantly. Roll 1d10. 2. On a +4, something happens. So nothing happens. Okay. That was everyone... No, that was blue, and white has moved. Then we will move green. Green goes to the side. And attacks with Fist and Tooth. An 8 is a hit. No, wait, it's not. Pepper Potts hits on 9s because she is a weakling. Alright. And then Gabriel Logan will run down there, sit in the grass. Oh, and he can spend his action to hide, but I don't want him to hide. I want him to be a threat so that the monster will run up and attack him while he has extra evasion here. So we are ready to move on. Click next turn, say chomp. Big target. Closest threat facing in range. Yeah, so facing means that it'll look at these tiles here. The side, basically, they won't count, so it'll move up and attack him. That is the idea. Facing in range, yep. Move and attack target. It goes for the head with a 4-up hit because of the grass, and there are no other modifiers. Oh, he's got -1 evade. So it's 3-up. Might have been a bad idea to put him in that situation. Yeah, he's hit. He's hit in the head, but he could dodge. He would take how many damage? Or how much damage? 1. But in the head means he will be knocked down, getting denied his turn, and then someone else can spend a survival to get him back up. But then it's just as good to use the thing and not get the hit in the first place. So I think that's what we're doing. We're using 1 survival to dodge. Good. And that is the beast's, the monster's turn. Now we want to stab it in the back. So let's grab, I think I go with Sansa. 3 dice in the back. She hits with Bone Dagger on 7, so that's 6s, so that's 2 hits. Okay. We've got a tail with a reflex. Reflex means that it will counter regardless of whether you wound or failure, but not if you crit. And then over here is only for wound, so that's probably the one we would do first. If the attacker has 3+ understanding, the sound of crackling ribs is encouraging, and the attacker gains extra survival. So this is actually a good thing if you wound. Let's go for that one thing. I don't think we have +3 understanding, but still it'll be nice. And I think, yeah, this is a crit. So critical wound. The force of the blow breaks the white lion's ribs, weakening it. The white lion gains -1 toughness token. Okay, I've never given one of those to a monster before. -1 toughness. There. And let me just check that off. Yeah, okay, that adjusts the battle UI. So you can see here now wounding becomes easier. It also counts as a wound. Very nice. Didn't give us a resource, but still good. And then we will go for the beast tail. 6 then is a wound because of the newly adjusted toughness. So that'll be a wound. But it does the reflex then. Full move monster forward in a straight line. Cancel all hits now out of range. Any survivors passed over suffer grab. So that'll be poor old Garville Logan. Full move is up here. He is put there. Face down, and face target knocked down in front of the monster. Yeah. And that was a wound. Only 2 cards remain. 2, 2, and 2, so 4 hit points left. That was white. Now the other ones can't reach. And we can't encourage Garville Logan because he's deaf. He can't hear us. So I don't think there's anything to do really other than run up here. They're not going to hide. They're going to hope that he goes for one of them. In fact, I might want to... I could hide with Gollum and hope that he goes for Pepper Potts then. No, we're not going to hide. We will say... next turn. Then draw an AI card. Bat around. Closest threat facing in range. There is no threat in his facing range and in range because the knockdown target is not in a threat. So then we go to the next one. Closest threat in field of view. And there we have 3 targets. So that means that the master controller gets to choose, and she can choose herself, gaining another insanity. Again, we have to learn whether or not there's a max here, but for now we'll just gain it. And then the white lion will come over, move, and target Pepper Potts. Speed 2, hitting accuracy 5 plus. That'll be 7 plus. So there's a low chance of hitting here. Two and two is not a hit. No hits. Good stuff. Then Garvia Loken gets to stand back up. We will move. Can we get around it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, you can get all the way around. So I think Gollum will do that. And attack with all three. Fist and tooth, hitting on 7s. Oh, 3 hits. Oh, that might be bad. We might be getting that trap soon. There's the trap, the clever ploy. Alright. The attacker is caught. Attacker is doomed. Perform basic action. Target the attacker. Cancels all attacker hits. Ends their attack. When a trap is drawn, a knockdown monster will stand. After a trap is performed, reshuffle all hit locations. So it does a... It faces him. Does a basic attack. 2 speed. Hitting on 2s. So 1 misses, but that is a hit. In the chest. And he can take that, I think. That's fine. Just 1 damage. Yeah. Then we will grab the whole deck, reshuffle it, and that is his action. And this is why high speed can be bad. High chance of that happening. If we had had 1 speed and just roll 1 hit, we wouldn't have suffered that. So, it's fine. I think 3 speed is a nice point to be at. More than that can be problematic, I think. Sansa can get up here. No. So the way you do it is you move Pepper first so that she can move out of the way after the fact. Yeah, she didn't hit with that roll. Just move her here. Sansa comes up that way. Sansa, green is moved. White is moving. Attacking with all 3 in the blind spot. So hitting on 6s. 1. Beast tail. Alright, again. We can gain a white lion resource here if we are lucky. On a 9. Oh, a 10. Perfect. So, the white lion's tail is destroyed, ruining its finely tuned balance. The white lion gains -1 accuracy token. Okay. There we go. I just realized that the other thing that we did to it, gaining the toughness token, may have... I think this is a persistent injury. No, it's not a persistent injury. It does get discarded. So it can happen again, which is that always confuses me a bit, but it will have to say persistent injury on the card at the bottom in order for it to stick around. So it does get discarded, and we get the white lion tail again. Search. But no. Right. Because while we are in a fight, we are limited to this deck, and there's only 1 white lion tail in the deck. So if we roll the exact same card again, we would not get another resource card, because there's no duplicate in this deck here. Reset it during the fight. There's also no reset button here, so that makes a lot of sense. I see. That made a lot of sense. We will discard a wound there. Good. And then red has not moved. He will go in and attack, obviously, because how else are we ever going to finish this? Just do it from the side. Gabriel Loken ain't scared. He actually has 1 in courage, so I'm not entirely wrong about it. And 5 is not a hit. So then it is the lion's turn. We will need to grab the AI deck, reshuffle it, draw the top, chop. Okay. Closest facing in range. That'll be Gollum, because he's the only one in facing. So, hitting on 2s. That's a hit. Don't have to roll hit location. It goes for the head. But he has a skull help. Right. And it just does 1 damage, so he's fine. When you suffer a severe head injury, the skull helm is destroyed. So we would want to make sure that doesn't happen. Then we lose it permanently. But we're not even close. It's going to be fine. That was his turn. So now we go again. And let's see, we'll go with Sansa. Here's, Bone Dagger from the back is 3 hits. Okay. No trap. No trap. Nice. Beast Paw, Brow, and Strange Hand. Failure, Wound, and Failure. They are all really nasty. They are all a basic attack returning, so we could get slaughtered in this action here. This one's the least bad. I should think about which one is actually the one we want if we get a resource or something. +1 permanent strength. You hack off the monster's hand, spend 1 survival to treasure this moment, and gain +1 permanent strength. Do we have 1 survival? We do. Permanent strength. Otherwise, over here we can gain 1 lion claw white resource. Oh, that's also nice. But a bigger punishment here. So I think we'll go for the strange hand first. 3. That is a failure. Yes. This one gets discarded. It does a basic attack action against the attacker. We'll rub it up. Alright. That is 2 dice. She's in the grass. There is no evasion. So force, but it misses. Nice. Alright. Then we will do this one here where we can get a wide lion claw. That would be nice. An 8. An 8 is not a critical, but it's not a failure either. We get a wound in on it. And then the beast's brow. For 2, it's not a wound, so we don't get punished, but there's no reward either. Alright. Could have been much worse. I mean, we didn't suffer anything. That was Sansa. Then let's just... Oh, she can move away. I think taking that 1 step away is a little bit beneficial, but not a lot. If it charges, she would still get hit, but at least if it does something like right in front of it, which I believe it can do, then we wouldn't get punished. Then, same idea with Gollum. He wants to attack and then move away. So from the back here, grab the blue token. Hitting on, with Fist and Tooth, 7s. 2 hits. Beast's back or beast's tricep. This one makes a charge. We don't want that. The white line is knocked down, then it can't do a reaction anymore. So if we could get that one, that would be best. So that's if we get the critical here. With Fist and Tooth, it's 9. No, and 5 is not a wound. Alright, don't get a failure here, please. That is a failure. Alright. So it charges forward. We suffer grab all the way back here. Oh. Huh. In front of the monster. I suppose it would stop short and put them like up against the wall here. I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen. Or the other thing is it could run into them and all the way out to the wall and then push them. They would get knocked to the side. But I think this is the solution. Some of it is a little bit ad hoc sometimes. And again, I encourage you all to me your criticisms and I will adjust going forward. They both suffered 1 damage per monster level. So let's go and for Sansa. In the chest. You can take that. They can't dodge this, so it's not really a question. And in the chest. Body. Okay. That was blue. Green has now lost her activation, but we could encourage her with... I think Sansa can probably not do it, so Gollum will spend a survival to make Pepper stand back up. Can we get to the backside? Yeah, so let's do that. Wing red. In fact, so we won't do this yet. There's no point in doing it before she's about to move, because she might be knocked down again. Who knows? So first we'll go with Garvey Logan attacking the backside here. Hitting on the fist and tooth. Yeah, 7 in the back. Good. Straining neck. Strike at the monster's throat. Oh, that's a chance of instant kill here. Honestly, I don't want it because I want to farm more resources. But yeah, say that with a smile. Oh, all right, but knocking it down would be nice. So we got the critical wound. So we take one away here. Then you roll 1d10. If we roll a 10, it dies. No, would be fun. Would have been fun. So it's knocked down. That's really nice. Yep. Now, I don't know. Garvey Logan, I think he can still speak, so he should be able to encourage. But honestly, he has only one survival. He might need it for a dodge. So I will spend Golems to get Pepper back up. When the beast is knocked down, we hit on 3s, regardless of everything else. So, with Fist and Tooth, we will not hit with this one, but then one hit. Beast, Scapular, Deltoid. Alright. A crit. Wow, okay. Gaining 1 minus movement token, and I think that was the final one. Yeah. -1 movement. So it still fights. It's like on its dying legs. It's not wounded yet. Or it's not like on its legs right now, but you know what I mean. Then we have moved all of our dudes. So next turn, it gets back up. It can't draw an AI card, so it'll just do the basic action. Closest survivor, in field of view, in range. Closest survivor, in field of view, in range. Okay. That's a very broad aspect. So, in range means that these 5. Garvey Logan is not in field of view. So, closest survivor is one of these 2. And blue is not one of them, so we can't gain anything from it. I think we... Oh. I'm tempted to go with Sansa, but she could be hit twice in the body and then she would suffer a severe injury. I really don't want that. Meanwhile, Pepper Potts is much more likely to take a severe injury, but I don't care about her in the same way. Now, the smart thing, I think, is to... Oh, Pepper Potts can dodge, right, because she's standing. So it'll be Pepper Potts, and we will attack twice. Only 1 hit, that's nice. And in the chest, okay, in the body. So we will spend 1 survival to dodge that so she doesn't get knocked down. And then that is the end of this beast's turn. Then Sansa stands back up. Now we're just trying to score that critical hit to get that final resource. Sansa can get... She's the best at getting critical hits with the 8 here, the Fist and Tooth. So that's the one I would go for, but she can't get to the backside right now. So we will attack with Garvey Loken first. And move out of the way. 1 hit. Okay, he might kill it. Yeah. Oh, he does. Okay, and there's no critical hit. But there is a kill. Blup. Alright, we did it. Then we come up here. 3 cheers. Aftermath. Let's see. First we take a sip of coffee as a reward. Then everyone involved gets 1 hunt XP. And that triggers a milestone for some people, but I believe that triggers when they get back home. There. Weapon proficiency level, which we can't have yet. But if we were working on getting weapon proficiency, we would get 1 level upgrade right now. And then rewards. And rewards then are described over here. The first time the white lion is defeated, add the Caterium to the settlement locations. The group gains the following rewards. Okay, the Caterium. Stone circle, organ grinder. Search Caterium. The Caterium. So now we are able to craft white lion specific stuff. And you see here there's the 5 at the top there. Make out a set for the white lion. And we need 5 white furs and some other stuff in order to forge that whole thing. And that would be very beneficial. So we are going to try to do that. I'll show the armor sets at the end of this playthrough here. Maybe we'll just do it now. Breaking off in the middle. Now let's finish up the reward thing. So we kill the level 1, we get 4 and 4. 4 basic, 4 white lion resources. Round. Add our other ones to the pile here. A decent haul, I would say. Come over here, dump it down. If the settlement has saga when they defeat a 3+ level wildlife. Okay, no, doesn't matter. The first time settlement performs this stirring tale. No. Okay. So that's that. Then you look at the track here. It says set up the settlement. We are in the settlement phase now. Survivors return. Heal returning survivors. Remove tokens. Do not remove gear. So heal and reset. And reset. Hide the battle UI. Heal and reset. Good. Gain endeavors. And we return. I don't think there's anything else here. When a survivor dies. No. Yep. So 4 endeavors are gained, 1 for each surviving and returning survivor. Like that. Update timeline. Update time. Draw a settlement card, event card, resolve it, right? Trigger a story and settlement events on the timeline this year. So we first do this one. To be fair, I did not shuffle it. So there we go. The Dark Dentist. I've heard about this one. Hold on, I'm sipping some coffee. Okay. A cloaked woman enters the settlement. All that can be seen beneath her hood is the sparkle of perfect teeth. She offers to improve the survivors if they are brave enough. So we can mend bones. The moment fixes your broken mouth, heal the shattered jaw, severe injury. Nice. Monster fangs. 4 bone or 1 large flat tooth. We don't have a large flat tooth as far as I'm aware. The woman upgrades your mouth. Gain +1 permanent strength once per lifetime. And the following ability, Monster Fangs. Gain +1 speed and accuracy when attacking with fist and tooth. Oh. Nice. It has a little star at it. It says, before gaining the benefits of Monster Tooth, Dentures, or Metal Jaw, roll 1 to see if the surgery was a success. On a 1 to 2, you die. The dentist offers your skull to the settlement as an apology. Oh my god. Okay, and then 3 to 5 says surgery fails if the suffers shattered jaw or severe injury, and then you can fix that. You may spend 1 endeavor to convince the surgeon to remove the implanted materials at half the resources used to pay for the surgery rounded down to the settlement. Oh, okay. Or 6 plus the surgery is successful. Metal Jaw says gain the following ability, Metal Maw. Your fist and tooth attacks gain sharp. Okay, and then I will pause the record. Alright, and so I checked on the wiki, and sharp means that you add another d10 to a wound roll with this weapon. So every time you're trying to wound, you roll first your normal thing, and it said that thing can't crit. I'm not really sure how to understand that, I'll be honest. I'm not sure. Yeah. It says to add another die. Add the 1d strength, 1d10 strength to each wound attempt using this gear. Ah, I see. So first you roll 1d10 to determine your bonus strength for this wound attempt, and then you do the normal wound attempt, which makes it easier to wound, but not to crit. I get it. That sounds very cumbersome, but whatever. That's a really strong ability, obviously. 4 bone. Let's see our resources. Broken lantern down there. Great cat bones. Sinew is an organ. Monster bone. Bone. And a random or a joker resource. Lion tail is hide. That would take all of our bone just for one person to get monster fangs. That's cool. And getting +1 speed and accuracy on fist and tooth would be great. A weapon that we could never lose, but it would be tied to that one character, and it's so expensive, like 4 bone. That's quite a bit. Now, I say no. Nothing else happens with this thing. Okay. And this one has been reworked in the community edition. You can see that in the top right, the CE. So then we go into the timeline and say we had a dark dentist here. I just added in there, even though we haven't done the other ones yet. So once we've done that, we start doing the other events. So endless screams. Fun. Look at them, they're having fun. Endless screams. A scream pierces the silence around the settlement. As the noise fades, a chorus of horror rises up in answer. The settlement erupts into chaos, trying to comprehend the source of the terrible wail. You may now hunt the screaming antelope. Add the quarry to the list, settlement record sheet. So, timeline here. Screaming. Oh. And Lopi. Added to the nominate a single survivor to stand amidst the madness. They gain +1 courage and become the voice of reason. You would think that he would need to be non-deaf, because I kind of want to make it Gavial Logan. He already has courage, so there may be some stuff to trigger there. But we could just make it Mr. Poopy Butthole. Clear, skip next hunt. So Mr. Poopy Butthole here has 1 courage already, yeah? Okay, so we could just try to get him higher on the list. I believe there's a punishment here. The survivor loses 1 courage and suffers the shattered jaw or severe head injury. Oh. If we roll a 1 or 2. But if not, he can gain understanding and insanity and become the Orator of Death. Fighting art. that would be really cool. He has his lifetime reroll, so we could reroll. It's Shattered Jaw. I wonder... Lingering effects. Can we keep doing the Dark Dentist going forward? I wonder. So then we could fix the Shattered Jaw later. It says lingering effects. I think that's a do for another. Alright, I found it here. It says lingering effects last throughout the settlement phase and can have positive or negative effects for the survivor. So it doesn't stick around like forever, but for this entire settlement phase, which means I can still use the thing to fix Mr. Poopy Butthole's jaw if he breaks it from this other thing. Now we gotta go for the end screens again here. So we are gonna elect Mr. Poopy Butthole to be the voice of reason. And he rolls a 7. Oh, okay, nice. So, Survivor stands firm in the face of the screaming unknown. Slow and strong words change the settlement's fear into tinkling excitement. After all, the endless screams might be an opportunity to gain knowledge and harness the darkness. The survivor gains the Orator of Death fighting art and 2 insanity. Nice. Mr. Poopy Butthole, 2 insanity for you. We have a lot of insanity going around, which sounds so weird to say as a positive thing, but it really is. And then search Orator of the Death. Delete that deck, find that thing. And we have to spawn him in order to get that going. So let's go back to the settlement with you for now. Spawn you. Then give him that fighting art. Once per showdown, you may spend your action to have all non-death survivors gain 2 insanity. Okay? When you die, you encourage all survivors with your last words. But once per showdown, we can give all of our non-death survivors 2 extra insanity just like that. Wow. That is really good. Strong plays here. Timeline, then Young Rivals. What is this? This is from an expansion now. Once there were 2 boys. They argued about everything. Nominate 2 male survivors with at least 1 hunt XP in your settlement. Just for reference, what then happens? As the boys grew into men, their enmity bloomed into rivalry. With each hard-earned battle scar, they sought to outdo each other. Choose 1 nominated survivors to gain the following ability. Permanent strength, -1 permanent invasion. Okay. Two male survivors with at least 1 hunt XP. Okay. So I was thinking Garville Loken and Gollum, I guess. And he already has negative evasion, this guy, so we could just tank it even more and make him a guy who doesn't dodge, but then he would gain 1 permanent strength, Mr. Loken. Or we could do it to Gollum, who already has 1 strength, and that seems kind of silly, taking his evade away. I don't like that. So I'll tank your evade more and give you 1 strength. Let's see here. You are also the voice of reason. This may matter later, you know, so who knows? So I like to write it in. Same with this one here. Young rival. Young rival +1 strength, -1 Eva. Good. And let's turn the page just to... Oh, it goes on. One day, one of the boys did not return from a hunt. The remaining boy felt no victory over his rival, only the loss of a friend. Unable to find him in the world, he refused to leave his bed, hoping to see him in his dreams. Choose 1 of the nominated survivors to die and the other to grieve. Oh no. The grieving survivor gains the following based on the settlement's death principle. Cannibalized revenge disorder. Or Graves vengeance fighting art. That's terrible. I have to kill one of my dudes? Well, hopefully we get rewarded for it then. Well, you know who it's going to be. Bip, Garville, Logan, Rip. Okay. Well, back to settlement you go. The grieving survivor gains the following based on the settlement's death principle. We are cannibalized, so it's the revenge disorder. That sounds bad. Maybe it's good. Revenge. When a fellow hunter perishes, you lose control. When a survivor dies during the showdown, suffer the frenzy brain trauma. Oh, that's a good thing. Nice. And that was for Gollum. Alright. Interesting. Time passed until one day he felt a strange vibration. Then, he heard a familiar voice of his lost friend just outside his hovel. He rushed outside, only to see the decaying body of his friend swaying awkwardly in the air. Horrified, he heard a dry rasping that could only be a laugh. For a moment, the monster was revealed before it vanished into the dark, whisking the corpse puppet away. The settlement may now hunt the Spidicules. Add Spidicules to the quarry list on the settlement record sheet. As long as he remains alive, the remaining nominated survivor must depart when the Spidicules is hunted. Must depart. I will write it like if we are hunting Spidicules. And this, I mean, I will try my best to remember this. But no promises. Right? And then here's the showdown for them. Not for right now. Alright. We're not done yet. Timeline. Gorm climate. The returning survivors find the settlement tormented by relentless foul weather. Add Gorm climate to the next lantern year on the timeline and roll 1d10. Oh. Is that going to happen every year? Damn. Gorm. Oh no. Gorm climate. Maybe we can get rid of it by hunting the Gorm. In which case, that's something we should start looking at. Okay, the returning survivors roll 1d10. Alright. Hopefully something good comes of this. Is it 10? Usually a good thing. Does the settlement have storytelling? No. The settlement struggles against the quaking ground, linking arms to brace themselves against the storm. Nominate a survivor with 0 hunt XP. They draw strength from the settlement's determination and gain +1 courage. Nice. 0 hunt XP. I don't think we have one yet. So, you know who is courageous? I know who's courageous. Let's see here. We find a male. Janus, the demon cyborg, is a pretty courageous dude. So he gets +1 courage. Oh, and for getting a name, gets 1 survival. That was over here. +1 courage. Okay. I mean, that was purely positive, so... Are all of these positive? Oh no, not if we roll 1, 2, or 3. Damn. Yeah, so I might wanna look into what we can do against this Gorm climate thing going forward. But right now we won't think too much about it. And then there's some crafting. I am thinking about cutting the episode here, and then I will do the crafting and do all the decisions off camera, and then just line it up, show that what we are making with what we have, and then start the hunt in the next episode. So I don't spend 20 minutes doing this on camera. And yeah, I think this was a pretty good episode, all things considered. I mean, we were pretty lucky, I think, all around, and we didn't suffer. Yeah, we didn't lose anything. Actually, we lost a character to that event, which is from that expansion, the like young rifles, and that just costs us a dude, which is pretty nasty. Do we get anything from that? When a survivor dies, draw 1 basic resource and add it to the settlement storage. Yeah. You do not get a resource if the survivor is lost, ceases to exist, or is exiled. Okay. I guess he would be lost. We can't really cannibalize him, can we? to die and the other to grieve. He dies. He does die, it says. Sure, all right. I'm going to be the rules lawyer and say I get a basic resource out of that. We found a love juice. What? Was that a basic resource? Yeah, never seen this before. Organ consumable. During the settlement phase, you may archive this to intimacy. Oh. Nominated survivors must be able to consume. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that means we get to have kids. I also forgot to check whether we found anything that gives us stuff. Like this one here, when you gain this, a random survivor gains +1 insanity. A random one. Okay. What about this one here? No. So we will roll a die between the ones that we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here, +1. I think it was insanity. Yeah. All right. And as I said, that's where we are going to cut off the episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you in the next episode. If you want to correct anything or even like give suggestions for what to hunt or what to do from here, I'm all ears. But for now, I'll cut it off. See you next time, and bye-bye.